Hey guys, what's going on? Andres Bustamante here from Digit Coffee, and I have Matthew Rincon, the owner of Digit Coffee here.
You're so much better at introducing this.
Well, I'm just.
We're gonna flip the script now.
So today we got Matt Rincon from Digit Coffee, the owner of Digit Coffee, and also a cryptocurrency enthusiast.
Yes.
Right? And we're going to be talking about this new Libra. You know, this new coin that's coming out. Facebook is in it. I think there's a lot of companies that are a part of it. And, you know, we're just going to break it down. We're going to ask Matt a few questions since he does know, he's fairly knowledgeable in cryptocurrency.
Thanks, man.
And yeah, and, you know, I think we just want to hear his thoughts about it and how this can potentially change the world as we know it right now financially.
Whoa.
I said it.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
So I've been trading cryptocurrency since 2013. 2013. So back then, if you're watching this, you probably would have never heard of Bitcoin. Maybe for the few crypto heads that are watching right now. And it was usually used for other purposes. It really wasn't used for investing. So if you've heard of something like the Silk Road or some of these other things that used to exist back then, that's usually what this was used for. And it was actually a practical application at the time. People weren't using Bitcoin to get rich. They were using it to move money and buy things. Right? At the beginning of this, of when it happened, right? The reason I bring that up is because most people watching probably think, hey, Bitcoin, get rich, right? Yeah. So that's the first thing.
I bought Bitcoin.
So that's what I want to say. First off, I do not invest in cryptocurrencies to get rich. So that'd be the first thing to say. I invest in them for application, right? And to see what they're even doing. Because each cryptocurrency, token, blockchain typically has some sort of application, some sort of purpose, something you're using it for to be able to move value between people, right? And that's really essentially it. And really, I mean people, individuals, right? So now the reason I say that is because we're talking about Libra, and we're talking about Facebook, and we're talking about, now we're gonna be talking about WhatsApp. So what's all that in common is it's people, right? It's people to people, person to person. When you add someone on Facebook, you're not adding their bank account, right? Or you're not adding their email address, you're adding their name. Right? You're adding who they are, you're adding their individual. Yeah. And so some of the really cool things that I think are gonna happen now is it's gonna be able to provide people that have a WhatsApp account the ability to have a bank account, which a lot of people in the world don't have, unfortunately, because if they don't have a job or if they live in a certain area of the world that they don't even have a bank. I mean, I was in part of Colombia recently where people were still buying cows to store value. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Buying cows. Right? I watched a documentary the other day in this place, I think in Eastern Europe, I forget what the name of the documentary is, where people trade in potatoes. They don't even use money.
That's crazy.
Potatoes.
We're in 2019.
We're in 2019 and this is happening in the world. So you can see how something like Facebook type of currency, like get rid of the word crypto, get rid of the word blockchain, get rid of all these fantasies of decentralized worlds where the governments don't exist. What about just me paying you and you're across the border and hey, yeah, dude, just use Facebook. All right, it's done. I don't care if it's decentralized at that point, right? I don't really care about a lot of things besides, hey, did you get the money?
Yeah, it's the exchange.
Yeah,
right?
it's done. All right, yeah. So a lot of that is adoption, okay? So now there's my first rant. So why don't I get it back to you because I have a lot to say on maybe some questions you have.
Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe we can introduce what it even is.
Exactly. I was going to ask you. So it's a lot of people that, or the viewers that may be watching right now, they don't know what decentralized means. Some might have the idea, but what is decentralized? Yeah, cool. So if this is your first time hearing about blockchain or cryptocurrency, you may have probably heard of Bitcoin by now. I'm sure you have. You may not know what it is. You may not know if it's real, you may not know if it's fake, probably know it's some sort of money, right? And if you're someone that's advanced that's watching this, or been doing this for a while, just bear with me for the next minute while I get through this. So essentially, money works by being tied to a government, right? And some sort of central bank. That's usually how money works. That's fiat currencies, dollars, yen, everything's always tied to a central bank. They back it with gold. Now, these days it's really not backed by gold, but by the faith of that country. And we accept that as money. And that's what we use.
But moving money between borders is difficult, right? And that's why companies like Western Union exist. That's why companies like MoneyGram exist. That's why many times people talk about decentralization in this way of removing borders, right? To be able to move money or move value between individuals without walls, right? Whether that means a different bank, whether that means a different country, whether that means a country that's banned from some list. Decentralization means all those walls go away, and it's really just, hey, I want to give you this, and now it's yours. And then you give me whatever, and then now it's mine. And all of those barriers are gone. So that's decentralization. That's some of these really cool ideas that are happening with blockchain and blockchain technology. And so now there's another buzzword. You may say, what's blockchain?
Blockchain,
okay, so Bitcoin is essentially money. Okay, think of it that way. It's value, money. I can send you Bitcoin and it's worth something, right? Blockchain is how I send it to you through that network.
Heard of this word nodes? Sorry to interrupt you. Nodes?
Yeah.
So I just want to know a little bit about that.
Node.
Like binary trees. Like I know. So people are listening. I mean, I'm a tech guy myself. I'm a marketing guy, but I'm like when I hear all these terms about like binary trees and just like the blockchain.
Sure.
It's a little intimidating.
Yeah, it can be, for sure. And it can be a little boring, it can be a little dry. It can be a little bit too much to kind of take in one breath, really. So it's a lot to get into, but nerds like me like this kind of stuff, and my undergraduate's in finance, and I used to work in banking, so like kind of have like a fintech background now. And so what's a node? So Bitcoin, that's the token you use that runs on the blockchain network. Blockchain is a decentralized network of servers that essentially all have the blockchain stored on it. So it's not stored on one central computer.
Right.
So if you can think of it really as just a cloud of servers that are decentralized that no one owns one thing on. So if one turned off, another one's on. Gotcha. And that's a node.
And those are I guess I took some notes here about that, and that's where basically all the transaction records are held, right? So that's why there's no duplicate.
So the blockchain is consistently being downloaded on nodes 24/7 through all the transactions that are being handled through it on every computer that's hosting a node. So like if I have a computer over here and the server was good enough, I could turn it into a node. It'd download the entire blockchain consistently, and it'd be mining at that point. You've probably heard of that word, mining. And what that is essentially confirming transactions through your node. And you're saying, yep, all right, confirmed, it's mined. You get a little sliver of your fee to confirm that transaction. So if you've heard of mining before, how people are making money mining, they charge a fee to confirm the transaction on their server, and that's mining.
Great.
So Bitcoin, blockchain, decentralization, that should make sense at this point. If not, maybe we'll make a simpler video about it. But yeah, Facebook's essentially making their own version of that. And that's what Libra is, okay? And so if you think about blockchain and a network to pass a token through, the Libra network is passing the Libra coin through it, okay? Or the Libra token, or whatever they're gonna say.
Right.
Maybe it's just one Libra.
Heard like Calibra or something like that. I don't know if that's
Calibra,
the actual name of the Facebook token.
Calibra, I believe, is the wallet. That holds the token, I believe so. I believe I got that right. And so how that's gonna work, and so I don't want to get too deep into the technicality of this because that can get really complex. But what I wanted to talk about more was I hear a lot of negative press about Facebook releasing a cryptocurrency and what that means, right? And so I'd rather talk more about that versus just getting deep into the technicality of this, because that is going to be tough to understand.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on that, actually, on Facebook releasing a cryptocurrency and what you know?
Sure, but I know very little, but I'm getting my feet wet with the whole thing.
But that's good, right? So you're the common guy that knows a little bit about it and may use it or not. Exactly. What do you think about it?
Well, you just start. I mean, I posted in a Facebook group, and I just thought it was funny that people are just so quick to jumping into things without really like knowing them. Hey, I've been victim of that myself. Been like, oh, this is the next thing, invest in Bitcoin, and and things like that. Yeah, people sometimes fall into that, right? But so I posted on the Facebook group about like, hey, so I'm curious, what do you guys think about this new, Libra association and all this stuff? And some guy commented like fairly quickly, like, whatever it is, I'm in. I'll invest whatever it takes. So I was just like, dude, did you take a minute to like even read what this is about? So
headline culture, right?
Yeah.
Headline culture that we live in right now. You don't read the article, you read the headline. You don't watch the video, you read the headline, and then you say it as fact.
Yeah, clickbaity, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that too. I mean, my thoughts on it is like, I understand it as like now it's going to be easier for people that don't have bank accounts to transfer, funds and let's say digital currency to somebody else, right? That equals, what that value is supposed to be, right? Like a platform of payments. So like, using with the Facebook apps, like WhatsApp, whatever. I mean, even like PayPal, I read a little bit of their white paper, they call it. I think Matt will explain a little bit what that is in the video here, but I read that Uber's is going to be a partner in this, like PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, and sure, obviously there's interest in there, right? So they're obviously they're investors in this.
Let me talk about that for 1 second. So, huge concern right now, almost everybody's talking about this, is privacy concerns, right? Facebook, oh no, what's Mark Zuckerberg really after, right? Like, it's so dumb. You think that's what really Mark Zuckerberg's thinking, how to destroy the world, right? No, he's probably thinking about, hey, what awesome new project can I work on that will make me a lot of money? And what's that mean? That means people buy it or they use it, which means it works, right? And so that's what this is. It's not, oh man, they're not using the most optimal blockchain technology that's not decentralized, that the government's going to step in and this is all BS and they're going to take over. No, it's, hey, I can pay my family in Venezuela and they got the money and then they can use it. It's that, right? That's a completely different, through WhatsApp, right? So everyone that is, part of this tech, hate Facebook, this is not true technology culture. I got news for you, man. AOL probably wasn't the best option when it was big, right? And they did a lot. So that's what I'm really looking at this as, is it's probably not the best thing available. It's probably not the most optimal or ideal. Yeah. It's probably not the most decentralized. It's definitely not decentralized. Runs on Facebook, but it works, right? It's gonna work. You're gonna be able to open up WhatsApp and send a ton of money probably to wherever you friggin' want, and then that person can use the money themselves, right? And then they can actually pay for their Spotify account through that. Bitcoin can't do that.
Right.
I can't play it, or some of these other, optimal, better, they can't do it. Why? Because they don't have the partnerships. Why don't they have the partnerships? Because they're not Facebook. Right. So this is the world we live in. Yeah. Right?
Everyone's taking notice. I think everyone has their hands in the air, like, what's going on here? Like, especially the guys in the cryptocurrency space that they've been in
I would love to talk to the guys that are like ready to hate on this.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So if you're someone that would love to get on a talk with me on why you think this is bad, I would love to chat with you on that. And why you think these are privacy concerns. By the way, this Facebook is one entity. Libra is an entirely different entity. That's
an association, right?
It's in Sweden or Switzerland, I believe.
Switzerland, yeah. Genova is where
completely different. Yeah. Facebook has one vote within that organization.
Yeah.
The other 100 entities all have votes.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think there's investment bankers.
There is decentralized ideas here that are taking place that the market is using, which I think is a good thing, right? When we talk about really having a more inclusive economy and having people that may not have been able to participate in an economy because they can't move value, this fixes these issues. And if it's not ideal, it may be one day, right? Yeah. And this is a mass adoption play where a lot of these companies, unfortunately, just don't have the resources or the networks that Facebook has that's launching this. So definitely, I see this as huge competition for banks, for sure. I heard that the other day that they're already inviting Mark Zuckerberg back to speak to the House of Representatives and explain what he's doing with Libra, right? Wow. And so they're inviting him back, so I'm sure we're going to start hearing him speaking about what this is, and I'm sure you're going to hear a lot about, hey, you got people now that are paying $35 to MoneyGram to send $500 to their family in South America, and now they can do it for 10 cents. So tell me why that's bad.
Wow, interesting thought there, Matt. No, I really appreciate you explaining this thoroughly, and I can see your position on it as something positive.
It's a world play.
An advancement,
yeah,
right?
I think so if you're in San Francisco, I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to you if you're in San Francisco.
Nice. Okay, great. Well, you guys heard it. Again, we were talking today about Libra, the Facebook, not really a Facebook coin, the Libra Association, and how Facebook is involved in this.
Yeah,
to
better way to think about it.
Right? And basically just changing the world's digital currency, value exchange, and things like that. So, appreciate the insight on there, Matt.
Yeah, we're going to do more episodes on this for sure. I am fascinated with inclusive economies and decentralization and the technology that gets there, just like you guys are. And so if you want to nerd out on nodes, or if you want to nerd out on mining or anything like that, we can go there. But really, I like the ideas that people end up using. And so that's what I think this will be, is that people actually use it. Your grandma will use this. So
you guys heard it here first. Digi-Coffee.
Your grandma's going to be using Libra.
Thanks for watching.